Everyone, and welcome back to Love is Strange. So in the last episode we went to the beach with Chloe and we gave her a present, I believe, because she's planning on leaving Arcadia Bay. She wants to get out of here, and it might actually tell us in the diary, so let's have a look. October 9th. I woke up in a dark mood with Chloe's big announcement yesterday taking over all my thoughts. I don't want to stop Chloe from leaving. I seriously don't. She deserves to see the whole world. I know it's selfish, but I don't like the idea of saying goodbye again. It's hypocritical since I'm the one who left first, but I don't know what else to feel. But I'm not going to stop her. I want her to remember Arcadia Bay and me positively, so I decided to gift her with something precious and personal. I framed an old photo of the two of us and Chloe flipped in a good way. She seemed very happy with it. That felt good. She seemed to be happy that I had even thought of her at all. So what if I want Chloe to be thinking of me when she's travelling? This time when we're apart, I'm keeping in touch. I had invited Chloe down to the boardwalk to hang out and hopefully just to enjoy the afternoon with her, but things came to a close pretty fast when Joyce called. I'm not one to keep Chloe away from her mum. Okay, I actually forgot that happened. I'm so full I think I might never eat again. Chloe was right and Joyce was excited to see me, probably because it meant another helping hand in the kitchen. Those women, always in the kitchen. The two of us ended up doing most of the work, which is likely the way Chloe planned it. Still, we made so much and ate so much that I don't think I'm going to be able to move again for another couple of hours. Chloe and I are on her bedroom floor now, sprawled underneath an admittedly very half-hearted blanket fort, made up of all the pillows we could find and a blanket propped up by Chloe's bedpost and her lamp. This is definitely a fire hazard. Just like me. She's lying on her back, arms folded under her head, and I'm on my elbows, leaning back. We've drawn our knees up to conserve space, but our legs are still bracketed around each other. That's super gay. I'm exhausted. It's only, 7-ish? That's not a bad thing, though. Maybe we'll get to bed at a reasonable hour after all. Chloe groans, shifting a little to spread her arms out wide. Reasonable hour. Oh, right, because of the contest. Oh, yeah, we're also doing the Everyday Heroes photo contest. Have you started coming up with a game plan yet? Oh, no, it's not the Everyday Heroes one. It's like a friendship bond. Or something like that. Just bonds, that's the theme. I tilt my head back. Chloe doesn't pay a lot of attention in photography class, but I know she'll do her best with whatever I ask of her. The contest is a lot of pressure on its own, but having Chloe's goodwill resting blindly on me is heavy too. Sort of. The junkyard was such a cool idea, Chloe. There's so much opportunity for a lot of different kind of shots. I read that as shit. Even though she's flat on her back, I can still see her preen. I grin up at the blanket. The tricky part will be trying to find a way to centre the shot, since there's going to be so much happening in the backdrop, but I'm not too worried about that. I mean, if you're the subject, I think... There's a loud creak of floorboard underneath us. At first I thought that was like a weird laugh. I didn't know what it was. And Chloe comes up onto her arms in a matter of seconds, eyes wide and wincing as her wrists crack. Is there something, like, hidden in the floor? If I'm the subject... Oh no, she just sat up really fast, okay. Her surprise startles me too, and I nearly lose my balance, upsetting the blanket slightly and hitting my elbows a little too hard against the floor. I thought Chloe already assumed she would be the subject, but in retrospect I guess the both of us were too distracted to actually talk about it. I turn a little red. Kinda careless, Max. Yeah, I thought, but I didn't ask, sorry, so if you don't want to, that's totally... No, I mean, I'll do it, I just... She glances away and it takes me a second to realise she looks a little shy all of a sudden. It's such an unfamiliar expression on her that it takes me a second to recognise it. If you wanted a model, you should have asked Rachel. Ooh. You're... I don't know. I asked... I'm gonna save. I might save. No, I'll save it in a new slot. And then we can maybe go back on our decision. You're plenty eye-catching yourself. The second it's out of my mouth, I feel a flush climbing up my neck. Chloe props herself up high on her elbows, grinning at me. We can go back on decisions, right? Yeah, okay. Are you hitting on me? Now I'm the one that has to look away. She just laughs, but I can feel her still watching me, waiting. The point is, I'm not that worried about centering the shot if you're the subject. When I glance back at her, she just nods, mock thoughtful, then grins at me again before lowering herself onto her back again, hands behind her head. Okay, I'm just going to move my mic slightly. Sorry if it's making like feedback. I don't think it will, but you might hear it kind of moving around. Sure, okay. Well, if you're not worried, I'm not worried. Well, I think that covers that topic. Besides, photography is something that happens in the moment. It's not really something you can plan out in advance. It's kind of romantic that way. Spontaneous and all that. I look at Chloe again, but she's still looking up, away from me. I wish I knew what she was thinking about. Chloe and I can read each other so well, but there are still moments where I can't get in her head. The silence is broken a little by the sound of Joyce passing underneath the stairs, singing softly to herself, cock-blocked. Chloe's fingers curl up. So you've already talked to Joyce? About you going? Chloe Yeah, she dances. She dances down at us. She glances down at me in surprise, then grimaces and looks back up at the ceiling. I knew it would be an uncomfortable subject, but I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, I mean, it didn't exactly go smooth. She cried, Max. It was fucking brutal. I hum sympathetically. Mum tears are the absolute worst. But in the end, she understood. She wants me to be happy, kind of like what you said yesterday. She said she was the same when she was young too, her and, my dad. She said with the gene pool I had, she shouldn't have expected anything less than a free spirit. Like a bird. I can't think of a better way to describe Chloe. Joyce may have come down to roost, but the Price women were meant for flight. Yeah, the birds, there's always birds in their house, so I think it's pretty clear that Chloe is kind of tied in with the bird symbolism, and Rachel's the butterfly, or she's the doe, depending on how you consider it, but then Chloe might be the butterfly, I don't know. I think it's open to interpretation. Chloe grins lazily up at me. Bird of prey. Then her grin falters and she comes up on her elbows again. So she's clearly restless, doesn't really know how to act. What about you? Me? Yeah. Are you a bird, Max? Her voice is light, teasing, but there's a serious sort of look in her face I can't quite decipher. Unsure, I just chuckle, lean back and close my own eyes. Sure. There's a sudden tug at my foot and I almost come unseated. I prop myself back up on my forearms and look back up at Chloe in surprise. What if she just fucking was like, oh, a bird, really? Well, let's see if you can fly, and just threw us out the window. Her fingers are still wrapped around my bare ankle and there's a searching, almost severe look in her eyes. I'm serious. Seriously asking if I'm a bird? Hey, don't judge my persona. Max. I could be. I think. One of her eyebrows raise and her thumb brushes past the knob of my ankle. I try very hard not to shiver this time, but she grins anyway. Aww. Shit's getting serious. I kind of feel like she's testing me somehow. Well, I don't know if I am a bird, but I'd like to be one. Really free, getting to see so much of the world, going wherever it's warm, that's nice. And, that bird's eye view. When I glance up from her hand around my foot, she's staring at me. Her expression is curious, but she looks pleased, a smile tugging on the corners of her mouth, and I feel like I passed. Well, I think you could be one. She lets go of me and comes up to sit a little straighter, both of us curled forward towards each other. Thanks, Chloe. That means a lot coming from a professional peacock like you. Fuck you, I'd be a way cooler bird. What bird do you think Chloe would be? Anyway, between you and my mum and Rachel, everyone who actually matters knows now. Well, that's good, right? No loose ends? She looks away from me again, lips curling a little. I hate putting it like that. Something's definitely up with her. I'm not sure if it's something I'm supposed to ask after or leave alone. But Chloe knows I'm nosy, so I think she expects it when I push myself forward on my hands towards her. Are you feeling okay? She glances at me, surprised, then away again. I'm fine. Nervous? That gets her to look back again, and for a minute I think I've misstepped, but then she gives an airy, disbelieving chuckle. Kinda. I nod, trying for a sympathetic and knowing expression, but I must screw it up because she immediately shakes her head. It's not what you're thinking. I'm not nervous about, driving or where I'm gonna go or whatever. It's just... Her mouth keeps moving for a moment after her voice trails off, and it's unsettling. I don't think I've ever seen Chloe wordless before. Her lack of a brain-to-mouth filter is worrying sometimes, but at least it's consistent. This time I have to lean to the left to catch her eyes again, and she meets them, a little wary. Then tell me what I should think. Chloe, I'm not mad at you. You know that, right? I really feel like they're gonna kiss. I just want to know what's going on with you. I want to get it. Like you said yesterday, I hope she fucking gets it. That was gross, I'm sorry. It's not like you owe me explanations or anything, but you know you can still tell me anything, right? And I'll listen. I want to be there for you. It startles me when she leans forward, not breaking eye contact for a second. Our faces are very, very close. This is it, this is it, this is it. Then she crosses her arms across my knees and rests her chin there, looking up. You already are here. Her calves are pressing in around mine now, arms heavy where they're draped over my kneecaps, and I swallow. She's grinning up at me, cat-like and intrigued. Come on, I was being serious. I curse myself for stuttering, but Chloe doesn't seem to notice, just pushes herself off my knees again. I'm being serious too. Max, it's just cool that you're here. It's cool that we can still hang out and that you're making this time for me and being a dumbass. Being a dumb... But she just laughs, stretching her arms over her head and then flipping up the edge of the blanket beside her. Chill. Anyway, I'm in a movie mood. It'll help us digest. You got any suggestions? I'm gonna do it. Product placement. Well, there's nothing like the classic. Chloe groans so loudly, I think it hurts her. Dude, if you make me watch that fucking anime movie one more time... I'm pretty sure Chloe is an anime geek, though, isn't she? But I can understand not liking Final Fantasy Spirits Within. You've only watched it once, and you fell asleep halfway through. I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I've played the game, but I'm pretty sure that she has, Anime Girl magazines or something like that. She's a fucking nerd. Better than it deserved. You need to let it grow on you, like a fungus. I'll let fungus grow on me before that movie does, but whatever, let's go. She's already ahead of me. I don't even need to be here. She holds the blanket up for me as I wiggle out from underneath it, wrapping it under her arm as we head out of her room. Man, they were so close. Okay, it's Thursday. It teased the kiss, but it didn't deliver. I'm hoping that the payoff is, incredible. I'm so jittery I can barely pay attention in class. Every time the lights shift, I just get distracted, thinking about what to do for the photo, when I should text Chloe, what kind of angle I want to take. Even if we don't win, this photo is going to be important, to me and to Chloe. It's going to be the last thing we do together before she goes. It's going to be ours. Okay, I'm going to make a prediction now. It's either going to have, a Ross and Rachel moment where we kind of meet each other and we're like, I couldn't go through with it, blah, blah, blah. And then they kiss and they live happily ever after. Or we're going to maybe end up going with her. Those are my two predictions. I was almost late to class today anyway, which isn't helping my distraction. I forgot Chloe doesn't set alarms, of course, so I just woke up to Joyce yelling for me, and Chloe's elbows in my face. She'd only grumbled and rolled over when I'd untangled our legs, got dressed and hurried out the door, so she's probably still asleep. Just as I think so though, my phone buzzes. I have to wait for the teacher to turn around before I can check it. Meet me out front in 10 min. In front of the school? Yes, Max, in front of the school. Spelt wrong. On purpose, because she's a cool kid. With, like, little quotation marks. I look out the window a little anxiously, but of course she's not there. Knowing Chloe, she probably just rolled out of bed, waking and baking as I think about her. My class ends in 10 minutes. I have another one starting up in 20. I know that Chloe knows that. Break the rules. I don't know what she's planning yet, but whatever it is, it's probably something totally irresponsible. Something Joyce would shake her head disapprovingly at the very least. I shove my phone back into my pocket and do my best to focus back in on the lesson. I'm too old for Chloe's shenanigans to be giving me butterflies. Chloe isn't out front when I hurry outside after class, so I'm stuck worrying for 5 minutes, checking between the road and the time and worrying about class and Chloe in regular intervals. I'm checking my phone for the 5th time when there are 3 sharp honks of a car horn, and I look up to see Chloe's truck parked in front of the academy steps, her grinning at me from inside. Hey there. I hurry over, slipping my phone back in my pocket and folding my arms up on the gap left by the open window. Hey. Excited to see me? Naturally. It's like I'm flirting with myself. That just makes her grin wider at me, and I just smile back, leaning forward a little so there's less of a barrier between us. I'm gonna do it. Ooh, insatiable. You really won't get off my case this week. At first she looks startled, then when she sees my expression, which I'm sure is just a stupid grin, she just beams at me, scooting closer to the window so we're face to face. Don't pull this on me, Caulfield. You're the one who wanted to partner up in the first place. Because I knew no one else would bear to put up with you. She gasps in mock offence, pressing a hand to her chest. Then she just grins again, leaning forward a little more. No one else would be able to handle me. I'm about to retort, hopefully with something snarky and clever, but then our noses brush. Oh my god. I hadn't realised she'd gotten so close. And the music stopped too. Oh, shit's getting serious. Out of instinct, I lean back a little, surprised. Chloe blinks at me, then gives a nervous chuckle and leans back too. Come on. Anyway, speaking of, what do you say we get this show on the road? You seriously want to ditch right now? You seriously don't? Chloe, I have class in right now, actually. You do too, if I'm remembering correctly. You are honestly such a square. As I'm giggling at her unironic use of square as an insult, she just rolls her eyes in my direction and goes on. Come on, dude, if there was ever a reason to cut class, it's to do this. You're pursuing your passion or whatever, right? Don't pretentious art schools like Blackwell have an addendum. I think it's pronounced addendum, I've only ever seen it written. That excuses absences if you're inspired or something. I doubt it. And your best friend who's leaving town tomorrow is telling you to. Well... And the sky's really pretty right now. Look. I don't know if she's being sincere or just teasing me, but when I tilt my head back to look up at the sky, it is really pretty. A clear blue leaching out from the fading pinks and purples of early morning. I sigh. Let's do it. Chloe raises an eyebrow but reaches forward and unlocks the door anyway. Geez, I thought you'd be a harder sell. Oh, we should have made her work for it. We should have made her, like, kiss us or something before we agreed. I climb up into the truck, toss my bag underneath my feet. What made you think that? You always get so whiny whenever I try to get you to do something. What's the word you like? Delinquent, right? She pouts in my direction, for show, and I laugh and shove at her shoulder. God, so many S sounds. Who's whining? She chuckles, spinning her keys around one finger. I lean back and watch them circle. God, she's so cool. Besides, it's not like convincing me to be with you is that hard to sell. The keys fly off her hand and hit the dash, and I flinch at the sound before glancing back at her in surprise. She'd winced when the keys crashed against the car too, but now she's just looking at me a little wide-eyed. Our eyes are wider than hers right now. This time I really can't help but get kind of flustered. Honestly, Max, could that have sounded more gay? Yes, it could have. We can always make it more gay. No, I get it. I know, I'm irresistible. Among other things. All good things, though. I just chuckle, unable to deny it, and reach down to get her keys back for her. I should just have face cam in these videos and just have like 2 puppets on my hand and make them talk to each other. Because the way I'm doing it, I'm like being flirtatious as one person and then being flirtatious as another. And I'm just flirting with myself here. So I need fucking puppets or something. I just chuckle, unable to deny it, and reach down to get her keys back for her. She turns the car on, the truck kicking a few times before rearing into action. Alright, let's bail, before the dog freaks. That's the teacher. I'm sure they'll understand. I mean, the deadline was so short, I bet tons of people are scrambling. Dude, who cares? You are officially... She pauses for a few seconds, just long enough to pull out the academy property. Off Blackwell grounds. God, living at school must really fuck with your head. No worrying about class or deadlines or homework for the rest of the day, alright? If you say so. This to me just feels like a facade, like we're keeping up pretenses that everything's fine and perfect and wonderful, but at the end of the day we're probably both going to be really sad because she's leaving. We're kind of putting it off, trying to ignore it and pretend it's not happening. And I think it's going to come around and hurt them in the end. Although I think there'll be a happy ending. Nope, you're the one in charge here, Max. You're calling the shots. Oh, get it? Calling the shots? Like it's a photo pun? You're hilarious. I know. Anyway, I want you to say, I'm not going to worry about class or deadlines or homework for the rest of the day. Okay, I won't. Word for word. I just roll my eyes, trying not to giggle. I fail. Isn't paraphrasing good enough? Chloe scoffs. Then suddenly the truck slows to what's basically a crawl. This storyline feels longer than the Rachel one. I don't know why. I think it might be. I don't know. Chloe leans back lazily against the seat, looking at me sideways. I mean, I guess it's possible. But so is, you know, reaching our destination 2 hours from now. Or what if she kidnaps us and, like, makes us go with her? Chloe! I'm not going to worry about class or deadlines or... You're such a pain in the ass. I end up having to deliver it through giggles. I'm not going to worry about class or deadlines or homework for the rest of the day. Happy? And my best friend and girlfriend, Chloe Price, is going to have my undivided attention. I smile at her, leaning back against the seat. And my best friend Chloe Price is going to have my undivided attention. She grins back at me, revving the car back up to what's probably a little above the speed limit. And also, I'm finally going to admit she's the hottest person I've ever... in your dreams. She laughs, high and pleased, and I smile, facing forward again and settling farther down into the cracked leather. My eyes catch suddenly on the reflection of glass up against the dash. To those... Oh, it's the photo of Chloe and me, tweeny pirates. I thought it was 21 pilots. That was a really lame joke, I'm sorry. The frame vibrating along with the buzz of the truck and glinting in the sun. Chloe follows my gaze, then chuckles. I'm gonna need to tape it down or something. But geez, how am I gonna commit any misdemeanors when I've got this face following me around? She flicks one finger against Tween Max's face, twisting her face up in a forced scowl, and I just grin, pleased. You say that like it's a bad thing. It is a bad thing. Still though, she can't keep up the scowl when she looks back at me. Thanks though. It's nice. Sure. Alright, enough of this mushy shit. Let's get this show on the road. She brings us up to 10 miles per hour over the speed limit, and then we're really on our way. Maybe we'll get pulled over. Oh no, we're here now. The sky is pure blue. Pure blue when we reach the junkyard, bright and clear, and it makes me feel optimistic despite the butterflies starting to take flight in my stomach. God, I'm so sorry for my lisp. It must just be the worst thing to listen to. Don't make that face. What face? This one. She pulls some kind of exaggerated pout. I definitely do not make that face. Yeah, you do. It's the face you always make when you're worried about something. But you shouldn't be worried. You're going to take an amazing picture. How do you know? Because it's you. But it's not going to get taken if we just sit here and mope about it. Come on, let's go. She grins at me and I climb out of the truck, coming around the side of the truck to let me out. How gentlemanly. Well, I'm with a lady. Oh, I said that kind of weird. So what are you thinking for the shop, Max? I look around carefully. There's so much to catch the eye here. Overturned appliances and metal shining in the sunlight, and the bright colours of the trees and sky above all else. It also says the twice here, but it's okay. Your brain doesn't read the second the, so it's not too noticeable. Excuse me, I just had a drink. So many Let's Players are like duos or trios or whatever, but it's just me on my lonesome, so I'm having to overcompensate by trying to be funny, and when I have a drink there's no one else to carry on or anything like that. I definitely feel the pressure. What do you think? She's surprised. What do I think? Shit, Max, you're the professional here. And you're my partner, right? We're doing this together. Dude, I'm just here for the ride. I fucking read that as daddy. Daddy, I'm just here for the ride because you asked me. Because there's no one I'd rather be with for this. Come on, not even a sarcastic thought? I glance around the junkyard again, uncertainly, and when I glance back at Chloe, she's a lot closer than before. Like, a lot closer. You really mean that? Mean what? That there's no one else you'd rather be with? I can feel her breath on my face. Okay, I don't want to jinx it, but I think this might be it. Well... Then suddenly she grins. You're so easy. What? There's a sudden sharp bonk to my head, and when I gasp and step back in surprise, Chloe just laughs, tossing me a stick and levelling a second one in my direction. Preemptive strike. On guard, Max. Oh, you're so dead. I go after her and she laughs, taking 2 steps forward and swinging at me again. Are we really having a sword fight in the junkyard? That's amazing. It feels different than it had even just 2 days ago, goofing off and playing pirates with Chloe, heavier and more valuable now that I know it's not going to last. Still, it's hard to feel that weight of wistfulness when Chloe's poking me in the ribs with a broken tree branch, laughing like there's nothing to worry about, lit up all blue and smiling against the sky behind her. Get your head in the game, Max. What? You're the one... Suddenly, I lose my footing. Oh my god, she's gonna, like, land on top of us. Suddenly, I lose my footing and go tumbling backwards, landing flat on my ass between a mouldy mattress and another stack of tyres. Damn it. Chloe, exceptionally smug. Oh my god, what if she leans down to take our hand and pull us up and we pull her down with us? Steps over my knees and crouches down just above my hips, tipping my chin up just slightly with her stick. Oh, the turntables. Yeah. And now for my victor's speech. O Arcadia Bay, thou hast seen the most glorious sight on this holiest day. You're crazy. You're crazy. Well, you make me crazy. The grin slips a little off her face, but she doesn't stand up. Instead, she just looks at me more intently, tossing the branch aside and crossing her arms over her squatted knees. I'm still trapped between her calves. How crazy? I sit up, but she still doesn't move. She's looking at me like she's trying to figure out an answer, but I don't know what the problem is. What do you mean? Like... She trails off a little, breaking eye contact. Okay, she's probably going to be like this crazy and kiss us. She trails off a little, breaking eye contact. I try to peer into her face, and when our eyes meet again, she seems to get some conviction back. Like, if I asked you to do something actually crazy, something maybe kind of stupid, would you? She's going to be like, kiss me. Like what? Weirdly, that seems to surprise her, and she falls back on her haunches a little to look at me. Does it matter? My first instinct is to say yes, obviously it matters, but the fact is Chloe really does make me crazy, to a point where I feel like it really might not matter. I'll do whatever she asks. Probably not. Partners in crime, right? That's the spirit. Final Fantasy spirits within. But really, like what? She leans back a little farther, then stands up, giving a vague hand wave. Nothing. God damn it, game. Stop teasing me. Don't be mysterious. You can't stop me. Anyway, aren't we here to take a photo? She steps aside so I can stand up, then laughs when I come up scowling, before jerking her head in the direction of the school bus, urging me to follow. Come on, I can't help you out here. I can't help you out with artistic vision or whatever, but I can show you a better vantage point. She leads me to one of the biggest fixtures in the junkyard, the rusty and slightly lopsided school bus, and looks at it appreciatively, hands on her hips. It's getting harder for me to read for some reason. Then, without too much ado, she moves forward and scales it. A second later, she's beaming down at me, cross-legged and smug. Up and at 'em, Supergirl. Chloe, I'm going to die. She grins at me, then gets up again, crouching down and offering me a hand. If it were just your clumsy ass here, sure. But come on, I won't let you fall. I eye her skeptically for another second, but she just beams relentlessly back. You better not. I reach up for her and she pulls up, letting me brace myself on the rusty walls and the window that creaks worryingly under my feet. For a second I wobble and my hand tightens around hers. Jeez, Max. She gives my hand a sharp tug and I come shooting up onto the top of the bus, her other hand going to the small of my back to steady me. Whoa there. You good? We're so close together again. Her hands are calloused and warm. I was going to end it here, but I might carry on, because I really do feel like something's going to happen. And I'm fucking thirsty as fuck. I'm good, thank you. Sure. She just keeps looking at me. I end up being the one to pull away first, closing one hand into an Arthur meme fist and lifting the other over my eyes to survey the junkyard from above. This is great, you can see everything from up here. Yeah, I like it, it's relaxing. I hear her shuffling around behind me, then the creak of metal beneath us. I turn and she's taken a seat again, a joint dangling between two fingers and a lighter in her other hand. I grin at her, reaching into my bag for my camera. Well, I'm glad you're coping with stress in a mature fashion. Don't knock it till you've tried it, Max. I grin at her and almost turn to survey the landscape again, lifting the camera slightly, but then pause just to watch her. She doesn't pay me too much mind, just lights her joint and brings it to her lips, exhaling grey. She's beautiful like this, all far away expression and loose limbs, ember glowing soft orange between her fingers. Wait. She glances up at me, about to lower her joint, but I quickly wave my hands. Don't move, stay like that. She does, legs still propped up and joint burning soft colours between her fingers, watching me curiously as I scale back down the side of the bus. There's no real good end point here, so I'm just going to carry on. What are you doing? Stay like that. I settle back down on the ground and take a few steps back, squinting up at her and taking a few steps from side to side, judging the light, the sense of space. Chloe watches me for a minute, then just chuckles, shakes her head and brings the joint back to her mouth. You're such a weirdo. I mean, technically, I don't know drug laws in America, but technically that's proof that she's smoking what could be an illegal drug. But, you know, it's artsy and tumblery and whatever, so. And just that, the way she draws her legs up a little higher, lifting her arm again and looking away, her expression going far away like before. I draw the lens up to my eyes and snap a photo, Chloe lounging on top of the bus, smoking with the bright blue sky behind her. Wow. Wowza. Pleased with yourself? This is it, Chloe. Both her eyebrows raise and she rubs the cigarette out against the roof of the bus, swinging her legs over the side. What do you mean? This should be the photo we submit. Are you serious? I mean, I don't really know how that would show bonds. I guess the bond between Max and Chloe because, you know, power of friendship and everything, but She hops down and comes towards me, leaning over my shoulder to look at the photo in my hand, warm against my back. Oh, that's very good. But it's just... I glance over at her and she seems to struggle for a minute for words, glancing at me then away. Sorry, I'm just going to go back to the photo for a second. That'll be the thumbnail for the video. It's just me. Yeah, there's feeling behind it. Look at your expression here. She takes it from me, frowning at it, one arm still over my shoulder. Also, every so often I have to pause to swallow my spit. I don't know how audible it is in the microphone, but I'm really sorry if you can hear that. I personally do not like the sound of people swallowing their spit, so if you can hear me swallowing my own spit, I'm sorry, because it's gross. She takes it from me, frowning at it, one arm still over my shoulder. I mean, are you sure? It's really just me smoking on a bus. Shit, is that even going to be, like, incriminating? Yeah, that's what I just said. No, it'll be fine. I take it back from her, looking at it again. Chloe, lit. Is that what the kids are saying? Is that what's popular with you youths? Lit and striking against the stark colours of bus and sky. It's perfect. This is Chloe. This is how I see Chloe. Beautiful, at the centre of everything, almost far away enough to be untouchable. Almost. Kiss her. It almost has, an Into the Wild kind of vibe to it. That finally gets Chloe to snort, squeezing my shoulders before letting me go. You're so pretentious. Besides, there's no way I'm ending up like that guy. I hadn't really meant it like that. I was just thinking of Chloe setting off into the wilderness, but now she's put the idea of getting lost out there, I can't help but think about it. Okay, I think I might end this episode here. The next episode might end up being really short because I do feel like we're close to the end, but I don't really know how long this one's gone on, and this is probably the best opportunity we're going to get to stop before it gets too deep. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.